Wow. New idea? Not really. It's not. I think everyone kind of does this now, but we're gonna try it out. Today we're talking about Erik Jones' future in sport. Let's figure it out. So at the beginning of the season, we all knew Erik Jones was one of the hot seat drivers to keep in mind. He had a one-year contract last year that was extended when he won at Darlington, but he kept on being pressured in the offseason by rising talent Christopher Bell. He was put in the 95 Levine Family Racing car as DeBenedetto went to the 21 Wood Brothers car. So even after Jones won the Clash, we were still questioning if he would still keep his ride because the Clash, it was whatever, okay? It was an absolute wreckfest. It could have actually been the ad for Wreckfest, its game. But we were still wondering after that if he'd be able to keep his ride. So we're going to continue talking about all the stats between him and Christopher Bell. So let's first start with some early numbers we got. Obviously in the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, they both ran the number 4 KBM truck. Wow, isn't that cool? They run the exact same car. Anyways, in Jones' first year, he won the championship in 2015 with 3 wins, 11 top 5s, 19 top 10s, and didn't get top 10 in only 3 races, which seems pretty good. Alright, I'm just saying, that looks pretty good. And then 2 years later, Christopher Bell won the championship with 5 wins, 15 top 10s, and 21 top 10s, not finishing in the top 10 on 2 different occasions. But what we don't see here is that Bell had a season beforehand and finished 3rd. So even if you have that 1 year gap, it still seems like Bell maybe had an upper hand. Going into the Xfinity Series, they both ran the number 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Wow, isn't that so cool? Anyways, Jones ran the Xfinity Series in 2016, and Bell ran it again for 2 seasons in 2018-2019. For this, we're just going to look at their first rookie seasons and not compare Bell's second season, because that's more experience, and we don't care about the second year experience, even though he was much more successful last year. Anyways, in 2016, Jones collected 4 wins, 14 top 5s, and 20 top 10s. Jones finished 4th that year, behind Suarez, Sadler, and Allgaier. 2018, Bell completed his first full season. He ran a couple races beforehand. Doesn't give you that much ahead of experience. He won 7 races that year in a rookie season, and the competition was still incredibly tough. By the way, he also won 3 in a row. He also got 18 top 5s and 20 top 10s, so he only finished outside the top 5 of his top 10s twice. And he also got a 4th place finish in the championship behind Reddick, Custer, and Hemrick. So, again, same equipment, same position, different sponsors though. Why didn't GameStop continue? I don't know. That's a question we're going to ask another day, I bet. And so once again, both drivers were fairly close, but Bell seems more in the zone, I guess you could say, with this car. And again, no difference whatsoever with the car. The year after we had the Supra doesn't make much of a difference, I don't think. Except for Ford had many more cars in the year in 2016. I think I have 2 now, which is still rough. Anyway, so now we're in 2020. Erik Jones, as of before New Hampshire when I'm recording this, is 12 points behind Matt DiBenedetto. And he had a really good weekend last week, and DiBenedetto got wrecked. We all know what happened. But 12 points down. He was like 45, I believe, beforehand. But ever since we came back, Bell has kind of been a hit or miss, or I don't know what else I want to say. He's just been up and down no matter what. So since returning, he's had 0 wins, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s in 14 races. So half the races got top 10s. But in 6 races, he either wrecked, had a mechanical issue, and DNF'd. That isn't really good. He only had 1 other race, pretty much, that he finished, or had a solid run, which I believe was like an 11th place finish a couple weeks ago. Correct me if I'm wrong down below in the comments. So, let's say he did not have best return so far. And even though he's 101 points behind Bell, or ahead of Bell, sorry, this is Jones's 4th season. Okay, he ran with Furniture Row for 1 year. This is 3rd year now with Joe Gibbs Racing. I believe it's their 2nd contract they're on, right? Anyways, so even Bell, he had a pretty rough start to the season as well in his rookie year. 4 straight DNFs. So he was behind House, and House had an abysmal rookie season. Then when he came back, he also DNF'd at Charlotte, or had a really bad run, I forget. Ever since then, though, he's gotten more DNFs and bad runs, but it's kind of what you'd expect from a rookie who's still in a car that can't get the right. It isn't where it is. I think last year's car was, if anything, more competitive. I don't know if it's because Bandito was more showing more talent, but yeah. Ever since then, though, he's been able to lay down solid results. So if we get rid of all those stats, we're just gonna push those away. Another big thing that could keep Jones away from his seat is sponsorship. So I'm saying he has sponsorship from DeWalt and Stanley and whatever, all those craftsmen, sports clips as well. But those are all sponsors, minus sports clips, that are related to DeWalt and have been with the team, minus craftsman, since Matt Kenseth, pretty much. Jones brought in Ream from the Truck Series and has brought them in ever since. But Procore, I mean, they're going to stay. And then Bell has also brought in a bunch of under-branded sponsors as well. But it still seems like Bell's bringing in more funding for the team if they were to pick him. Now, we could also agree that Bell's also had a rough season because, as we all know, Busch is currently winless. And most of that's probably because of no practice and no qualifying. Last year, I believe Jones had a lot of top of the chart practice results, but couldn't translate that into the race or qualifying sometimes, for the least. So there could be a relation between that. I would not be surprised to see Coach Joe or Coach Gibbs, however you want to say it, give Jones another year with practice and all that stuff. Because I mean, if Kyle Busch is winless, then you're gonna question everything. Not been a good year for Busch, let's be honest. So again, that might not be his fault. He may just be in a bit of a hiccup. Hopefully he can come back hard, though, in the next few races. He's got, I think, like 7 races now to make the playoffs now, I believe. So, yeah, 7 races. So he'll have to really push hard with the road course coming up. No one knows. That could be a wild card event like we saw at the Roval. But even if Jones doesn't get the ride there, and LFR somehow magically shuts down because they have been struggling since the pandemic, there is a couple open rides right now. A couple I've been looking at have been maybe. Hey, this is a long shot. The number 4, not 41, sorry, the 14. Obviously we know Briscoe's coming up, and he will probably take that seat. But say Almirola has a really bad season, even though he's been super consistent right now. Does Jones go over there? Does he try and join the Ford camp, or does he go to the Chevrolet camp and try and go with either Chip Ganassi in the 42, or he goes to the 48 if Hedging Motorsports brings him in? The only thing I would see him not coming in would be, of course, the rough kind of start to the season. Even though halfway through. Also, if you hear a bit of echo, I'm in a closet again. This has kind of been my recording studio, so sorry about that. Anyways, I've made a list here of things that Erik Jones must do to improve his chances at staying in the ride. The number 20 car, to be specific. Maybe he changes the numbers. Changes the numbers. Obviously, he's got to make the round of 12. 2 years in a row now, he has not made the round of 12. Gets quite annoying for some people. He's got to win more than one race. He's got to win more than one race. Because he's won one race, but then it's been inconsistent. 2 wins could really show he's stepping up the talent, even if they're lucky wins with a win. Or he has 1 win that he's defending off Busch like he did at Darlington. I think if Busch kind of fought a bit harder there, if he didn't blow up a tire, which I still don't get how he finished 3rd in that race. Still, who knows? We could maybe see Hamler Truex. Truex also had a rough season. Don't know if he's still trying to get used to his new crew chief. James Schmoll. He also has to get more top 5 and more top 10s. He's got to be more consistent. DNFs are still showing up now, more than ever, if anything. And I don't think Coach Joe wants that. So, looking at all these stats and such, if Jones doesn't win, he may be going down to LFR like we said or something like that. So, could this be a swing or miss season? Or could this be a home run for Erik Jones somehow magically? I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe in a bit, anyways. So in the comments down below, let me know what you think of Erik Jones and will he end up for 2021 and onwards. Also, comment, like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications. Because it's a new setup. I do like enjoying trying some of this stuff. I want to see how far this will go. Yeah, if you have any more suggestions for videos, I have a couple ideas coming up. I'll probably do like once a week, maybe like 4 times a month at most. Because I got school soon in September, and it might be digital, so it might suck for me. Because I'll be on my computer all day. But let me know if you guys are interested in this series. So I gotta figure out a name for that, so tell me down below as well. And peace out.